In a quiet village surrounded by golden fields and tall banyan trees, there lived an old man named Raghav. He was thin, with silver hair that shone in the sunlight, and eyes that carried both kindness and sorrow. Raghav lived alone in a small clay house with a wooden door that creaked whenever the wind blew. His wife had passed away long ago, and his children had moved to the city in search of work. But though he was alone, he wasn't forgotten. Every morning, the children of the village would run to his porch to listen to the little stories he told, and the elders would greet him with respect. Raghav had one unusual companion. It was not a dog, not a cow, not even a bird. It was an old pocket watch. The watch had belonged to his father, and though the glass was cracked and the chain was rusted, it still ticked faithfully. Raghav would take it out every morning, polish it with the edge of his dota, and whisper, "Time, my old friend, you are the greatest teacher." The villagers often laughed gently when they saw him talking to his watch. But Raghav never minded. He would simply smile and say, "One day, you too will understand." One afternoon, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with fire, a boy named Veer came running to Raghav's house. Veer was only 16, restless and full of dreams, but lazy and careless with his time. He often skipped school, spent hours playing cards with friends, and told himself he would study tomorrow. His father, a farmer, scolded him often, but Veer never changed. That day, he arrived at Raghav's door with frustration written all over his face. "Uncle," he blurted out, "why does everything go wrong for me? I'm not stupid, but I keep failing in school. My father says I'm wasting my life, but I don't understand how. I have time, don't I? I can always do things later." Raghav listened quietly, then handed Veer the old pocket watch. "Hold this for a moment," he said. Veer turned it over in his hand and chuckled. "This old thing? What's so special about it?" Raghav's eyes twinkled. "This watch has been ticking for 70 years. Do you hear its sound? Tick, tick, tick. Each tick is a moment of life. Once it passes, it never comes back. People think they have endless ticks left. But one day, the watch will stop. And by then, it will be too late to do the things we kept postponing." Veer frowned. "But I'm still young. I'll study later. I'll help my father later. Why rush now?" Raghav leaned forward, his voice firm. "Because later is a thief. Later steals your today. And before you know it, later has stolen your entire life." Seeing the confusion in the boy's eyes, Raghav decided to share a story. "Let me tell you about a man I once knew. He was the son of a wealthy merchant. He had every luxury, a grand house, servants, fine clothes. But he had one weakness. He wasted time, every opportunity that came his way. He said, 'I'll take it tomorrow.' His father begged him to learn the family trade, but he delayed. His teachers begged him to study, but he delayed. He thought fortune would wait for him, but fortune doesn't wait. When his father died suddenly, the young man found himself at the head of the business, but he had no skill, no discipline. The employees left, the money drained, and the business collapsed. In just a few years, the son of a millionaire became a beggar on the same streets where he once rode in a carriage. He used to sit outside the temple, holding out his hand for alms. And do you know what he whispered to everyone who passed by? He whispered, 'I thought I had more time.'" Veer's throat tightened. He shifted uneasily. "But maybe he was just unlucky," he muttered. Raghav shook his head. "No, boy, he was not unlucky. He was careless with the one treasure everyone is given equally: time. Gold can be stolen, crops can fail, even health can fade. But time, once you let it slip, it never returns." For a while, silence hung in the air, broken only by the ticking of the old watch. Veer looked at it, and for the first time, he felt uneasy about the hours he had thrown away. That evening, he went home without saying much. He sat at his desk, opened his school books, and tried to study. At first, it was hard. His mind wandered. His hands itched to grab his phone. But the sound of the watch's tick seemed to echo in his ears. He forced himself to continue. The next day, he helped his father in the field before running off to school. Slowly, day by day, he began changing his habits. Months passed. The boy who once wasted every moment now guarded his hours like treasure. His teachers noticed. His father noticed. And deep inside, Veer began to notice something else. He respected himself more. He had fewer regrets when he went to bed at night. Years later, Veer returned to the village as a grown man. He was no longer the lazy boy who wasted his youth. He had become a successful engineer, building bridges and roads that connected people and changed lives. When villagers asked him what had inspired him, Veer always smiled and told them about an old man with a cracked pocket watch who taught him the value of time. And Raghav? He had long passed away by then, but his little house still stood. On his porch, the children of a new generation gathered to hear the story of the boy who almost wasted his life, but turned it around. The watch no longer ticked, but its lesson still lived on. Remember this. Fortune will not stay with those who waste their time. Opportunities will not wait. Dreams will not wait. Life itself will not wait. If there is something you want to do, start now. If there is someone you want to care for, love them today. Because later is not promised. Time is the only treasure we can never earn back once it is gone. Guard it well, use it wisely, and your life will never be empty.